my friend, and welcome back to a new motivational video. Today we are focusing on doing a pantry makeover. So we are cleaning, decluttering, and organizing our small pantry, as well as this cabinet area where I store our daily vitamins and just other food items that don't quite fit in this pantry area. I am giving you a before shot just to kind of share what I'm currently dealing with. Clearly the system I currently have set up is not working very well, so the goal is to get everything in here to just be a little bit more functional, but not only for me, but for my husband and my kids as well. I did go a little crazy and overboard, and I took measurements and I made notes for what was working and what was not working, and also what I needed containers or bins for, as I was kind of hoping to keep this budget friendly, and I would say that I did. So let's go ahead and, like we always do when we are working with a space and decluttering it, let's empty it out so that we can actually declutter and clean it before we start the organizing and labeling. Also, a huge shout out to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I will be sharing more on them a little bit later, so stay tuned for that, as well as the before and after transformation. I hope you get lots of small pantry organization ideas and motivation in today's video. Let's go and let's do this. I headed out to our local Canadian Tire and HomeSense, as I find they have the best selection for organizing containers. I was very hopeful for HomeSense, but I only ended up getting a few pieces from there, and the rest is from Canadian Tire. So these two 5-piece sets match our current pantry containers that I got from Amazon, and I wanted to use what we already had, and again, just to kind of keep this pantry organization super budget friendly and somewhat cohesive. And I only ended up using a fraction of these, including these iDesign bins, as you can find them cheaper at HomeSense. I bought these glass jars with the bamboo lids because they were stunning and they were sealed. These would be great for pastas, rice, quinoa, and that sort of thing, but I ended up keeping and using all 4 of these bins, these narrow iDesign bins, as they were perfect for organizing in the pantry area. These clear spinners that I'm about to show you, I will use for our vitamins, which I got these ones from HomeSense, and then I grabbed the containers that we already had and we'll be using those. So let's do this. I ended up turning this corner area into an additional pantry storage plus breakfast nook at the bottom. So we're going to be tackling this area too. As you can see, this is where we put all of our vitamins and bigger pantry items that don't fit in the actual pantry. And it kind of turned into a catch-all. So let's clean, declutter, and organize it. These labels were impossible to get off, so I did a quick Google search and a YouTube video came up that said to use olive oil and allow it to sit for 5 minutes to seamlessly remove them. Do not waste your time or energy. This was a total fail and I ended up creating so much more work for myself. If you can imagine, all I did was create a greasy, oily mess, and I ended up having to soak them in dish soap and hot water for a really long time in order to fully remove them. That is one thing I love about the iDesign brand containers is these labels do come off so effortlessly. Thanks again to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I am so excited to introduce you to the ultimate smart cutting machine from Cricut, the Cricut Maker 3. This machine is so versatile with the capabilities to cut over 300 materials using smart materials so no mat is needed. You can design almost anything using your Cricut Maker 3, from custom cards and t-shirts to stickers and even engraving wood and leather. The best part, no design experience is needed. One thing I love about Cricut is, number one, the natural aesthetic that the machine gives. It's not super bright, and so it definitely is going to just kind of blend in my office, which I can appreciate. And the second thing that I absolutely love is they've thought of everything, including storage and where to kind of handle everything. So for instance, these pens fit directly into the machine here, and I just think that that is incredible. Additionally, they sent me some card making supplies, which I love. We do homemade cards for everybody every single year, and now I can up my game using my Cricut, so I'm really excited about that. They also sent this printable vinyl in gold, which I think is so beautiful, as well as this waterproof sticker set. I mean, look at this color. My kids are going to freak. And then of course you get all of your smart vinyls and your iron-ons and all of that. They also sent me 2 of these packets, which include a black, white, and red. So obviously I'm going to be using the black or the white today. I haven't quite decided what I am going to do. And then everybody needs the transfer tape to transfer everything onto the project. So they included that as well. They also sent the Cricut Easy Press 3, which we're not going to dive into today. I will share that in a future video, but you can use that to heat press onto t-shirts. And they sent me the mat as well as this little grid for underneath the shirts. They also included these Cricut markers, so the metallic ones and then just like your classic pen colors. So I know that Cricut can kind of seem a little bit overwhelming, but I am so excited to share the process with you and really and truly just share how easy it is and really just how you learn as you go. And I'm going to be a prime example of this, as I have never used a Cricut before. The quality of this machine is incredible. I mean, it is so high tech, just kind of opens itself. So let's get creating. Again, I know it can seem overwhelming, but with the easy instructions and a Wi-Fi connection, you can totally do it. Today, I'm going to be sharing how to design using their easy app called Design Space, and just the process of how to make labels for your own pantry. I love that the machine comes with a demo sheet to ensure your machine is functioning properly. Once you get your machine set up using their easy to follow instructions and you do the test run, you can dive right into creating your project. Open up Design Space. You can do this either on a computer or on your phone and design your project. It's that simple. For labels, we are going to be adding some text using the text button. You can also type out what you need and then size it to the proper size for your project and pick the font and style that you want to use. For our pantry labels, I am using the Apple Chancery font, as I wanted something feminine but easy to read for our family. Now that I have played around with Design Space and I like the style of my font for my labels, it is time to whip them up. You get to review your product to ensure everything is correct before cutting, which I love, and then you choose your vinyl material. It cuts it for you and you assemble your project. I actually couldn't believe how simple this process was. And I love that the Cricut machine tells you like what is happening as it's working its magic. For my labels for our pantry, I ended up selecting the smart removable vinyl in case I needed to change some of them in the future. Once I had everything customized for my project, it was time to cut and then we will assemble. Once your project is cut, it is now time to weed the letters using this tool from the Essential Toolkit. This didn't take as much time as I thought it would, and I actually found it to be kind of therapeutic. Once all of the letters were properly weeded, you are ready to transfer them to your containers. In order to do this, you need to add on the transfer tape and use the scraper to have a smooth, even finish for your labels. To put the labels on your containers, all you do is take the transfer tape to literally transfer the letters from the tape onto your containers, repeating this process throughout until your project is complete. Stay tuned for the before and after of our pantry makeover and organization. It turned out so good, I can't wait to share it. Apologize if you can hear my kids show in the background, but as you can see here, we have all of our kind of baking stuff on the lower shelves, as my kids really like to bake with me, and so I always like it to be within arm's reach so that my youngest, who is 4, can bring out the sugar, bring out the flour. She just loves to help me, and so the system works really well, and I'm so happy that everything is labeled now. My husband knows where everything is. My oldest daughter can read. And so we've just reached the point in our lives where it needed to be labeled, and it feels so good. I love how the labels turned out. Here is an up close. This font is beautiful, and I will have everything that I used linked in the description. So everything that I use will be on Design Space. I think you can easily access it. So this is the only one that messed up, actually, the letter D here. And to be honest, I was just too lazy to fix it. And we don't use chia seeds very often, so I'm wondering how, like, I might change that container out anyway. So I did use the removable vinyl,
and honestly that one's probably gonna change. And then I have my baking powder, baking soda, cornstarch, and same thing. My kids reach for these all the time. So these were some of the containers that I ended up keeping. These were perfect for our pantry. This is a very narrow pantry, and so these containers are 10 inches long. Majority of the containers that I found were 12 inches. And so even though like there's a little bit of a gap here, the highest that would fit was like 11 and a half. And so I was looking for 10 just for a nice seamless fit. And I think it looks so great. So I have like our healthier kind of school snacks here. These are treats, which I don't know why we have so many of them, but for some reason we do. This is extra baking stuff, and then seasoning packets. Moving up to the next shelf here, we have all of our gluten-free crackers on this shelf, our cornmeal. I have more crackers in the back, and then this is gluten-free breadcrumbs, which again, these little containers, I change out all the time. So that's why those ones are not labeled. And then coconut flakes here, I have 2 of them if you can kind of see that. We use a lot of coconut flakes in protein balls that I make. And then on the next shelf, we have all of our nuts and then chocolate chips. I have gluten-free pancake mix. And then back there is some gluten-free croutons. I didn't label these glass jars as, again, we change them out quite frequently. Thank you so much for being here and watching today's video. I hope that you guys got some extreme motivation, whether you were cleaning along with me, maybe decluttering or organizing. I hope today's video gave you some inspiration if you do have a small pantry. I find a lot of videos out there on the internet that claim to have a small pantry. They're like massive. And so I hope that you can find this super relatable. Also, a big thank you to Cricut again for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't checked Cricut out before, make sure that you go ahead and check them out. I ended up going with the Cricut Maker 3 as I thought it would be a lot more beneficial in the long run rather than doing the Cricut Joy. However, the Cricut Joy is a really great option as well, especially if you want a more affordable option. However, it was so easy to use. I'm very impressed, not gonna lie. I seriously cannot wait to label my entire house and also to make some shirts for my kids using the Easy Press. So stay tuned for more motivation and just organizational videos and stuff like that using my Cricut machine. So thanks again to Cricut for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for being here and watching all the way through to the end. Make sure you go check Cricut out if you haven't already. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, of course. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you guys in my next video. Bye.